Hey there, gorgeous, magical creator. I'm Christine Collins, and I'd like to welcome you to a beautiful new year. And I do like to start the beginning of every new year with a little bit of a reflection on what worked well last year and what didn't. So, what things really served you in your business and in your marketing, and which things would you like to change? And I also like to always just talk for a moment about goals because I think that when we step into a new year, there's often a very strong temptation to set resolutions, to set goals, to plan out the year, and to have these sometimes very giant, epic plans and aspirations. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But as you are setting your goals, whatever you like to call them, goals, intentions, aspirations, whatever you like to use in your approach, it is very helpful if you start with a couple of founding principles that I like to use, and I call them the 3 Ps. And then I also just want to talk about things that are kind of sustainable for you. So the first P when you're writing a goal is to write it in the present, meaning that you're writing it as if it's already happening. So I once worked in a setting where we were never allowed to use the word hope, as in, I hope this happens, because the thought was hope is not a strategy. Well, it's kind of the same idea, but it's really, this is based in neurolinguistics and an understanding in how our brains work when we hear certain messages. So the purpose of stating something in the present is to bring it to life instead of saying, I hope to do this, or I plan to do this, or this is just my goal. It really kind of, that language really gives you a lot of distance from owning it, right? It can kind of just be like, oh yeah, I hope that happens, but if it doesn't, oh, okay, that's fine. And I'm not saying to put pressure on yourself, of course, but when you state it in the present as if it already is real, it becomes real to you at a subconscious level. So instead of saying, I am going to do blank, I'm going to send out a newsletter every week, every month, whatever that looks like, it's I am sending out a newsletter every month. That's what I'm doing. So stated in the present, stated in the positive. And in this sense, I don't mean the difference between positive and negative or like good and bad. Stated in the positive means stated in the affirmative, so that we're not using words like can't, don't, and won't. Because at a subconscious level, it's very difficult to kind of interpret a can't or not. Our brain just doesn't do it. If I say, whatever you do, don't picture a pink cloud. Well, the very first thing your brain does is starts to try to imagine what a pink cloud looks like. So you want to avoid using that language. So it's about not saying, I won't avoid social media, or I won't stop sending emails. It's using language about what you're going to do rather than what you're not going to do. So I am sending my newsletter every month rather than I'm not going to procrastinate. I won't procrastinate. So you can see the difference there, stated in the positive, using words about can, will, am versus can't, won't, don't. So stated in the present, stated in the positive, and stated in your power. So that's the third objective, is to say it in a way that is empowering to you. And I like to add, making sure that it feels achievable. Our brains can only go from kind of here to here at a conscious level. It's very difficult to jump from earning, let's say $500 a month to $20,000 a month. It's very difficult to grasp that as a belief because it doesn't feel possible. So you really want to choose goals that feel plausible to you. It's just like when you're reading or writing a story and it has to be something that's plausible, that feels like, yeah, that character probably would say that, so it makes sense that that's what they did. You want it to be plausible. I do think it's plausible that I could go from 500 to 700. That feels realistic, and therefore that's the goal. So state it in the positive, state it in the present, state it in your power, and then making sure that it feels plausible or actually achievable. And when you begin to make your goals kind of follow this format, not only do they feel a lot more refreshing and less heavy, but they are a lot more effective. They're a lot more likely to actually come into being. And then, of course, you can incorporate the other tools that we've talked about in many other videos and episodes in terms of visualization, and then using hypnosis to help you to transform any limiting beliefs you might have around things that are possible or plausible for you. So those are just a few little insights as you get started into your New Year journey. Keep it light, keep it easy. Try not to get weighted down by the pressure to have intentions and resolutions and to make giant, sweeping, epic changes. Take a look at what worked last year, keep that going, unless there's a reason to change it, and then decide what didn't work and if there's anything that you want to tweak or adjust as you move forward into the future. I hope you found this helpful. I'm Christine Collins. You can check me out at transformcreate.com. And in the meantime, I hope that you have an absolutely magical and creative rest of your day.